Get ready to have your mind blown. These 10 facts will completely change the way you see the world around you. Fasten your seatbelts because we're diving headfirst into the realm of the unexpected. Let's go. Okay, let's start with a real head-scratcher. You, my friend, are mostly empty space. You feel solid, you've got weight, you bump into things, but trust me on this. Everything in the universe is made up of tiny particles called atoms. And these atoms, well, they're mostly empty space. Imagine a giant football stadium. The nucleus, that's the center of the atom where the protons and neutrons hang out. That's like a tiny marble sitting on the 50-yard line. The rest, empty space all the way up to the nosebleed seats. If you took away all the empty space in every atom in every person on Earth, humanity could fit into the size of a sugar cube of humans. Think about that the next time you're feeling crowded. It's a constant reminder that the universe is full of surprises and that the more we learn, the stranger and more fascinating it becomes, and it makes you wonder about the nature of reality itself. If we're mostly empty space, what are we? It's questions like these that keep scientists up at night. When you look in the mirror, you see a solid form, a reflection of yourself. But beneath that surface, there's a whole universe of particles. These particles are in constant motion, interacting and forming the matter that makes up everything around us. It's mind-boggling to think that all the hustle and bustle of daily life is built on a foundation of mostly empty space. This concept challenges our understanding and invites us to explore deeper into the mysteries of the universe. Scientists and researchers dedicate their lives to unraveling these mysteries, pushing the boundaries of what we know. So next time you gaze up at the stars, remember that the universe is vast, and yet we are all connected by the same fundamental particles. It's a humbling and awe-inspiring thought, one that reminds us of our place in the cosmos and the endless possibilities that lie ahead. Hold on to your hats, because this next fact is a real doozy. It's something that might just blow your mind. Every 7 years, you are essentially a brand new person. Yes, you heard that right. No, you're not waking up with a new face or a different name, but on a cellular level, you're constantly renewing yourself. Your body is in a perpetual state of regeneration. Think of it like this. Your body is a bit like a giant construction project. It's always under renovation, always improving and updating. Cells are constantly dividing, dying off and being replaced. This process is happening every second of every day. Skin cells, for example, only last a few weeks. They are constantly shedding and being replaced by new ones. Your red blood cells, they're around for about 120 days. After that, they are replaced by fresh new cells. Now, some cells stick around longer, but on average, scientists estimate that almost all the cells in your body are replaced every 7 to 10 years. This means that over a decade, you are essentially a new person. So in a way, you're like a constantly updating version of yourself. Just like software that gets regular updates to improve performance and fix bugs, the you from 7 years ago, gone, baby, gone, replaced by a newer, fresher version, replaced by a newer, shinier model. It's like trading in an old car for a brand new one. This fact always makes me think about personal identity. If our bodies are constantly changing, what does that mean for who we are? If our cells are constantly changing, are we still the same person over time? It's a fascinating question to ponder. It's a philosophical question for sure. One that has intrigued thinkers for centuries. We're in constant flux, a swirling vortex of cells and energy. Just like nature, we are always evolving, always changing. Let's take a step back from our own bodies for a moment and zoom out to the vastness of space. Imagine floating above our planet, seeing the blue and green marble that is Earth, and then moving further and further away until it becomes just a tiny speck in the infinite cosmos. Specifically, let's talk about stars, those brilliant points of light that have fascinated humanity for millennia. Those twinkling little pinpricks of light we see in the night sky, yeah, those are just the tip of the cosmic iceberg. Each one of those stars is a sun, many with their own planets orbiting them, because here's the mind-blowing truth. There are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth. Think about every beach you've ever visited, every grain of sand you've ever touched. Let that sink in for a moment. The sheer scale of it is almost incomprehensible. It's practically impossible for our human brains to truly grasp the sheer enormity of that number. Think about it. Our minds are not wired to easily comprehend such vast quantities. You go to the beach, you pick up a handful of sand, and you think, wow, that's a lot of grains, but that's just a tiny fraction of the sand on that beach alone. Now imagine all the beaches on Earth, every coastline, every desert, each one filled with countless grains of sand, trillions upon trillions of grains of sand. The number is so large, it almost loses meaning. There are more stars than that. It's enough to make your head spin. The universe is so vast, so filled with stars, that it boggles the mind. But it gets even more mind-blowing. The stars we see are just a tiny fraction of what's out there. We can only see a tiny fraction of the stars in the universe. Our telescopes, as powerful as they are, can only capture a small glimpse of the cosmos. The vast majority are too far away for our telescopes to detect. They are hidden in the depths of space beyond our current reach. It's humbling to think about our place in this vast and ancient universe. We are just a tiny part of an incredibly large and complex cosmos, a reminder of how small we really are in the grand scheme of things. Chapter 4. Bananas are berries, strawberries aren't. Let's talk about fruit. Because, believe it or not, the world of fruit is full of surprises. For example, did you know that a banana is technically a berry? I know, right? It doesn't look like a berry, it doesn't really feel like a berry, but botanically speaking, it fits the definition. Strawberries, on the other hand, are not berries. They're actually something called an aggregate accessory fruit, which is a fancy way of saying that the fleshy part of the fruit develops from the receptacle of the flower, not the ovary. It's a lot of botanical jargon, but the point is, things aren't always what they seem. We often categorize things based on our own perceptions, but nature has a way of defying our expectations. The world is full of surprises, and sometimes the most unexpected discoveries are hiding in plain sight. Chapter 5. The Earth is not perfectly round. We've all seen pictures of Earth from space, that beautiful blue marble hanging against the blackness of space. It's easy to think of Earth as a perfect sphere, but here's the thing. It's not. Now, before you go questioning everything you thought you knew, let me explain. The Earth is actually an oblate spheroid. It's a fancy way of saying that it's slightly flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator. Think of it like a basketball that someone sat on a little too hard. Why is it shaped this way? Well, it's all thanks to centrifugal force. The Earth's rotation creates an outward force that's strongest at the equator, causing a slight bulge in that region. It's not a huge difference, but it's enough to make the Earth not quite perfectly round. And this little quirk of our planet's shape has some interesting consequences. The gravitational pull is slightly weaker at the equator than at the poles because of the bulge. Chapter 6. You share 60% of your DNA with a banana. Okay, get ready for a fact that's both weird and wonderful at the same time. You share about 60% of your DNA with a banana. Yes, you heard that right. A banana. That yellow, crescent-shaped fruit that you probably had for breakfast, you're practically related. Now, before you start questioning your entire existence, let me explain. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is the blueprint of life. It's the set of instructions that tells our cells how to build and maintain our bodies. And it turns out that all living things on Earth share a common ancestor, way back in the primordial soup, billions of years ago. Over time, different species branched off and evolved in different ways, but we still carry around remnants of that shared ancestry in our DNA. And that's why we share so much genetic material with everything from bananas to chimpanzees to the bacteria living in our guts. It's a beautiful reminder of the interconnectedness of life. Chapter 7. We humans like to think we've got this planet figured out. We've explored every continent, mapped every mountain range, and even ventured into space, but there's one place on Earth that remains largely a mystery. The ocean. We've only explored about 5% of the world's oceans. That means that 95% of this vast watery realm remains unseen by human eyes. Think about that for a moment. There's an entire world down there teeming with life that we know almost nothing about. It's like having an entire planet right here on Earth that we're just beginning to explore. And the creatures that live in the deep ocean, they're like something out of a science fiction movie. Giant squid, bioluminescent jellyfish, fish that look like they came from another planet. The deep ocean is a place of extremes. It's dark, it's cold, and the pressure is crushing. But despite these harsh conditions, life thrives down there. Fasten your seatbelts because this next fact is going to take you for a ride. The universe is expanding, and it's not just expanding, it's expanding faster than the speed of light. I know it sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's true. Scientists have known for decades that the universe is expanding, but in recent years they've discovered that the expansion is accelerating. And the rate of expansion is so fast that it's outpacing the speed of light. Now, I know what you're thinking, but nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, and you're right. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, nothing can travel through space faster than the speed of light. But here's the thing, the universe itself isn't bound by the same rules as things within the universe. The expansion of the universe isn't about things moving through space. Our brains are incredible organs. They're capable of processing information at lightning-fast speeds, making connections, and storing memories. In fact, your brain can process images faster than you can blink an eye. The average blink takes about 300 to 400 milliseconds. But studies have shown that the human brain can process an image in as little as 13 milliseconds. This incredible processing power is part of what makes us human. Okay, time for one last mind-blowing fact before we wrap things up. And this one's a bit of a downer, so I apologize in advance. But statistically speaking, you're more likely to die on your birthday than on any other day of the year. I know it's a morbid thought, but it's true. Studies have shown that there's a statistically significant increase in deaths on people's birthdays. Some researchers believe it might be related to stress or alcohol consumption, while others think it might have something to do with the birthday blues. Whatever the reason, it's a sobering reminder that life is precious and that every day is a gift. The world is full of incredible, mind-blowing facts that can completely change the way you see life around you. From the vastness of space to the intricacies of our own bodies, there's always something new to discover. If you found this video as fascinating as I did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing facts. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop being curious about the world around you.